Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Aditya, co-founder of Garchi, and today we are going to see a very interesting topic which is atomic design in Vue. So without any further ado, let's begin. So as you could see, I have a weather app from which I can select the location and then just get the weather details for that location. So this app is designed in Nuxt. So I have created a Nuxt tutorial series. So if you would like to watch the entire series, I'll put the link in the description. Please do watch it. It's really amazing. And yeah, so atomic design. So what is an atomic design? So if you're new, if you are a chemistry student, then you might be aware of the concept of atoms, molecules, organism, and etc. etc. So in the same way, this design thinking principle or this designing principle was introduced in web development, where atoms are nothing but any HTML element or basic HTML element which cannot be divided further. So let's take an example. If you see this button, which is here, so this element you cannot divide any further. Unlike div element, which you can divide it further. So you can have div, and inside div you can have several elements. But for button, you cannot do like that. Or for input, you cannot do like that. So that will be your atom. So several elements like link, like li tag, anchor tag, input tag, button, selectors, uh, and like every HTML element will be your atom. Then comes the molecule. So molecule is nothing but collection of atoms. So let's go again over here. So our button, this selector, which is another atom, these two can be combined to create a molecule, which is this div. So collection of atoms is molecule, and then we have organism, which is collection of molecules. So all these divs are combining to form one organism. So if I go to ddata.view, here I have a div, and div, and div, and so many divs, and they are all combining together to become a organism. Then comes the page. So collection of organism is page. So all this template will be our one page, including the headers and everything that is already there. So this header, this everything will become one page. So you can find more theoretical and nice explanation about this atom principle on YouTube, but this is how in general it is all about. So why we are using it? It is just because imagine that you have a complex web application where you want to change. Suppose if I have this button, and now if I want to change the color of this button, say after 1 month, then if this button is placed on 1,000 different sites, like say if I have 1,000 pages or if I have 500 pages, and if it's there on all those pages or on 500 components and it's there on those components, then I have to change individually the color wherever that button is placed. But suppose if I just have to change this just at one file, in just one file, then this will save me hell lot of time in changing all over rather than changing it on all 500 places. So that's why we use this atom principle. So let's see how we can like break this entire weather page. We will just deal with weather page, not the menu. So because it will be a very long video, so I'll just keep it short and deal with the weather page. So let's see how we can break the entire weather page into atoms, molecules, and organism. So let's go over here. Let's start with the weather. So we have inside weather.view, we have here another component which is day data, which is nothing but this card. Each card is a day data. So as you could see, we have the selector, we have the button, we have link, and we also have the UL. So this can be one molecule, then link, and so on and so on and so on. So what we will do is we will start with this selector. So let's go in components and let's first create all the atoms. So we'll have atoms, and inside this, let's create new file selector.view, which will be our first atom. So let's have quickly our scaffolding. And now let's just copy this code from here and paste it here. So we have our selector. Now, the basic principle of using atom is that you can rearrange them in combination and can reuse them. So this concept of V model can be used here, but we want to keep it more of a generic concept. Also, these options, we want to keep it generic so that we don't have to write separate selector for separate things. So what we will do is we will pass options as props, and we will pass this, we'll slightly play with this V model a bit. Also, this class and location, name and class, we will pass it as an attributes. So how we will do it? Now we will go to our weather.view. Here we will say atoms and then selector. So in Nuxt, you don't need to import component if you're using the latest version. What you need to do is you just need to write the folder name, which is atoms, in capital letter, like starting from the capital letter, then the name of the component starting with the capital letter. So Nuxt knows that it has to look into atoms selector component. So we will then close this, and now we will pass each of this like option as a prop. So how we will do it? First, we will take all this name and class, we'll put it over here, and on our selector, we will say v bind equal to dollar attributes or attrs. So this is a defined view variable, and it's nothing but all the class and styling of your component. So once we do that, it will automatically bind or substitute these values, name equal to location, class equal to whatnot in our selector over here. So that's what it does. V model is our location, so we will change it to value, and here we will have a data. For this, I'll be using the options API. Of course, you can use composition API, but I'll stick with the option API for now. Return, and this will return a value and just a blank string. So this V model will be this value. Now, next thing is we have to deal with this option. So if you see, we need a blank, like something to show, like I'm using this as a empty value. So we need an empty string, empty value equivalent string kind of thing. And we will need a value key value pair, like value and value text pair kind of thing. So let's go here. We will take props, and we can take it as an array, or we can take it as an object with validation and everything. So what we will do, we will say a blank string, and we will need options. Okay, now let's go to our here weather, and we will here say blank string, and our string will be this selector location, and then we will need our options. Now if you see, I need to pass an object or an array JSON object array kind of thing, because it's going to be a v for over here. So what I'm going to do, I will say option, and here I will say v for item index in options. This will become from here our props, and this will be our blank string from the props, blank string, and options we will say value will be we need to bind this value. So we will say item dot value, and here we will have item dot text, and here we will take key equal to index. Okay, so okay, let me see what I did. Oh, sorry, I did this here wrong, and you can to put it like this. Okay, so now let's take this value and text, and let's create a array over here, JSON array. So we will bind it. So we need to use a colon so that we can use JavaScript over here, and we will just create the like the key value pair of this. So this will be our value, and sorry, actually, yeah, we will do like this. We will say, yeah, this should be fine. This should be fine. So, and this will be London. Then we have another, which is Paris, F for France, and this will be Paris. Then we have another, which will be Cairo, Egypt, which will be Cairo. Okay, and then we can remove this from here. And now if we go back and refresh our page, everything is there, and if you see, only this thing is not there. So let's see what's wrong with it. So okay, so sorry, the big mistake, this should be not like this, it should be like value and text. I'm so sorry for this mistake. So this should be value and text. Oh, not here, but here. Text, value and text. If I go now, refresh the page, and we have all the values here. Now, if you see, it's not binding our value to our location. So what location? The location we have over here, which we are using to call the API and get the details, which is nothing but the option value of this. It's not binding over here. So how to bind that value? So here we will say @change equal to, we will emit an event, something like change, and we will also pass the value of this. So we'll say value. So this value will go, or sorry, this value will go with this change. And here we will say @changed. So what changed is this? This changed, not this one, but this changed, our event name, equal to, now this will be a function which will take in the value, and it will assign location. It will assign that value to our location. And now if I go back, refresh the page, London, get details, and we have the details of this entire thing. So now we have our one atom. Now let's also make an atom for the button. So we will go here, new file, button, maybe I can say primary, secondary buttons kind of thing. So I'll say just button .view, but of course you can create several button atoms because you might need to have primary button, secondary button, etc. So I'll do button.view over here, and what I will do is I will copy this, put it over here, template, okay, and I'll put that button here, and also I will again need a prop which will be this text. So I will have text, and here I will say atom atoms actually, button, and our text, sorry, it won't be binded, so our text will be this. And now here is another thing. Unlike inputs, certain atomic elements like button, when I say atomic, it refers to this HTML web atomics elements with this. So these elements, so if I want to access this @click or mouse over events or all those class and everything, I can do it bit differently as compared to what we did for select. So how we will do it, we'll just copy it from here, go to our weather view, put this over here, and in our button we will say v bind equal to dollar attributes, and we will have v on equal to dollar listeners like this. So now what it will do is, now if I refresh the page again and go here, get data, so it will make that click event. So the click event from here is going all the way down over here. Remember that this thing is only Vue 2 thing. It's not a Vue 3 thing, because in Vue 3 these listeners are taken off. As I'm using Nuxt, it still supports Vue 2. So if I was on Vue 3, then I won't be writing this thing. I just have to write this thing, and then Vue will take care for me. So just that small change. So now we have these two atoms. Now let's make them into a molecule. So we will create a new folder here, and we'll say molecule. And let's now, if you see, this two or this entire thing can be our molecule. So let's take this into our molecule. So we will say here, new file, select form.view. So let's take all of this over there in the select form.view and script, and we don't need this setup now, and this one. Okay, and also we will need this now location. So we will have data return location, which will be just a blank string for now. And also we will need get data function to be returned over here. So we will say methods like this. Oh, sorry, it should be here, and this will be methods that will be get data, and we will just need to emit it. So we will say, or rather we can do it from here. We can say dollar emit. We don't need get data in that case. We'll just say emit, and we will say selected and location. So whatever the location value is, that's been selected, and we are just emitting it to our parent. So here we can then have our molecule. And what is our molecule? Which is that's nothing but select form, and here we can have that selected equal to, and we can have get data function, and then in that get data we can pass the location value. So we'll say location, and then we don't need this, and we can then comment out from here, and we can also comment it out from here, and here we can say get data location, because that emit event will pass the value, and we can catch that value over here, which will go over here. So let's see what error we are getting. Oh, we forgot one thing. We didn't give a /. So now let's do a quick refresh, we have that here, London, get data. It's not getting over here. So let's see what wrong did we do. So we went over here, select form, change location, equal to V, then selected, emit selected location, then it comes over here, get data location. Oh, sorry, we don't need to pass parameters here. We just need to pass the function name, and then it will automatically get the location. So if I refresh, Paris, location of Paris, data of London, so on. So now if you see, our weather page is becoming lesser and lesser, but our files are here getting more and more, which is fine, because now if I want to change anything on the select form, I just have to go down the line from select form, selector, and button. For some, this might be very complicated because they have to maintain so many things, but for some, this can be well organized. So it depends on your personal view. Let me know in the comment section what do you feel about this. So we are not using ref, so we don't need this. And now let's go to our next thing. So here we have another molecule actually, which we can put it over here. So what we will do is we will then okay, so we already have one day data. So if I go to day data, so over here I can now substitute this button with our button over there. So I can say atom button, and here I can have these things all over here like this, and I can just close this, and text will be this text. Can remove this. We can also create, if you notice, we have an image over here, so we can also create like the atom for this. So let's create that quickly. So we will have image.view template script. This is not needed, and let's go over here. We can just take all of this, actually just the image, the image.view, and we can say img, and here we can say vbind equal to dollar attributes, and von equal to dollar listeners. So in case if someone wants to provide the click event on that list image, that's fine as well. So now here we just have to say atom image, and this should be good. So let's see what we get. So if I refresh and go here, London, okay, so we are not getting our image. So let's see what's the problem. So we have our src, which is going over here, and that's binded over there. So let's see, if I go to this one, okay, so here we should have our image. So it is before we get our data.weather, so time, and then weather, and after weather we should have an image, but the image is not there. Okay, so let's see what's wrong was there. So oh, okay, so this, yep, because we didn't save this, that's why. Sorry. So now if I go refresh, and we have our image there, so everything is good. So as you could see, now we can have like the atomic design principles being followed. Also I can go down and break this, and also kind of make it like separate atoms, and then this all can be different molecules. Then we can pass this all to our layout, which will be our so this entire weather will be our organism, and that organism will go to our layout objects here to default view. Over here, it will be rendered as a page. So that's how it works. So this will be another organism. This will be whatever it comes as an organism, and then all of this will become our one page. So this is how our atomic principle works in general. So I hope you like this video. If you have any comments, just feel free to put it in the comment section. I can understand like this is a bit difficult to understand, but it was like even I was kind of getting a bit confused in understanding it. But if you see the video again, you will find it like it's will be more interesting, and it will be very easy like once you get a hang of it. So thank you for watching again, and hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye.